This call is being recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Cooking Without Looking TV show podcast. I'm creator and executive producer Renee Rentmeester, and I'm here today with a real fun guy. Not a fun guy, but a fun guy. His name is Bill Lapp. Bill, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm old enough to retire nowadays, but I grew up necessary in a sighted world, but I was legally blind. I was like the only kid in our whole school that was blind, and so I had to do everything a little different. But I still did. It didn't matter how close I sat to the board. I couldn't take stuff off the board, so I had to use memory to do everything. And well, I guess my mind's all right. Who knows? But, after a while, I graduated from high school, and I didn't go any further. I went and started working in my dad's garage and worked there for a few years in that, and we sold the business, and I went and joined the Merchant Marines. And
Wow.
that was, not too many people do that are visually impaired. So I did that for a few years. And down the road, I got back home, and we were hanging out at a bar one night, and some people said, "Hey, what do you think? You want to walk the Appalachian Trail?" I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." So back in 1976, me and a friend of mine walked some of the Appalachian Trail. We walked from Pennsylvania, Indian Head, Pennsylvania, to Springer Mountain, Georgia, which that was about 3 months worth.
Wow. What an adventurer you are.
Oh, yeah. Ain't many things I ain't ever tried to do anyway. I've hitchhiked across the whole country, back and forth, from California to New York, from Florida to New York. After I walked the Appalachian Trail, I hitchhiked back home.
So you didn't let your visual impairment hold you back at all, right?
Oh, no. I didn't know any different. I was born this way, and that's the way I ran. I didn't, as far as I knew, my eyes were as good to me as anybody's eyes were to them.
What exactly do you see, Bill? What is your condition?
RLF, which is I was premature, and I was in an incubator when I was born. So with the oxygen and that wiped out most of my vision.
So they gave you too much oxygen, right?
Right. Yep. And that happened a lot back in the 50s.
I was going to say it was very common in the 50s and 60s because incubators were new at that time. Even Stevie Wonder, you've got the thing that Stevie Wonder had. He was born and he was sighted. Stevie was sighted, and they stuck him in an incubator, and he went blind.
Yep, I was fortunate. I didn't lose all my sight, where he lost all of his sight.
Right. But can you imagine? Stevie Wonder wouldn't be Stevie Wonder unless he was totally blind.
No. Well, most of us believe there is a reason why we have these conditions that we are. This is all God did this, and there's a reason why. It's like my wife Carolyn. If it wasn't for her being blind, she wouldn't do what she does now. She runs the Florida Outreach Center. Otherwise she couldn't do that. She wouldn't be in that position to do it.
Right. Well, you guys created that, right?
Yes. Yeah. We started in my family room at my house doing it, trying to figure out what we could do to help blind people in the county.
It's ran for and by blind people, and you're sort of like a I want to say that you're sort of like a modern lighthouse. You guys have more of a modern bent, in my estimation, anyway.
Yeah, well, and the nice thing about it is when some blind person comes here, when they come in here, they feel like we're a family. It's not. We do learn. You learn a lot, but people learn under a nice circumstances instead of like a business.
Right,
So,
right. I agree with you.
and
It
make
does
it
have a
all.
nice feel.
And make it friendly when somebody walks in the door, because most of the time, people are already depressed upon their
And
blindness.
frightened,
Yeah,
right?
and they don't know what to go or where they're going to go or what to do. And we
Right,
like to think that we give you a direction in life.
right, right. And I know you keep a sense of humor with it.
Well, I sometimes I think it's a little warped too, but that's beside the point. But you got to have fun in life. If you don't have fun, there's no sense of living. You have to enjoy
Exactly.
life.
And
You
speaking of
know,
enjoying life, what was the last wild and crazy thing you just did about a week or two ago?
went well. I went skydiving. I sort of got
Wow!
I sort of got roped into it by my son. He chickened out, and they said, "Well, you got to find somebody else." He goes, "Well, I know who'll do it. My dad will do it." So he, so he called me up and says, "Hey, Dad, will you go skydiving?" I says, "Yeah." So that's how I got to do it. But what an exciting thing, and I can't wait to go do it again.
Wow. Tell us your thoughts on the way out of the airplane and down.
Oh, you can't describe it because I've done a lot of things in life. I mean, I've jumped off a 90-foot cliffs into water before, and
Woo!
there's not many things that I ain't done that, a lot of people would look and say, you are crazy. But, you got to take that extra step. But jumping out of that plane, it was like, at first, you're riding along, and once you get in the plane, after they get you all suited up and everything, and you're hooked to an instructor. So automatically, you're hooked to somebody. You ain't, he knows what he's doing. You don't have to know what you're doing.
You're in
But
tandem, right?
so when you go and you get to the door, so you're in front of him. So you're just sitting there, and first we went up. We dropped one guy off, a student. He jumped out at 6,000 feet. So we kept going up from there, and you're just watching it because you're sitting there, you're looking right out the window. I mean, it's a lot of windows, and you keep going higher and higher, and we jumped out at 14,500 feet.
Wow.
And
Can
they
you
said
describe that for us about like in miles or
we went. They said that you traveling once you jump out, you hit speeds about 120 miles an hour before you pull the parachute.
oh,
So it was
did you
about 200 feet a second.
oh my God, did you have any like qualms like once you got out of there, did you go, "Oh my God, I shouldn't have done this"?
Nah, not really, because that's once I decide to do something, it don't bother me. I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
last in July we were in Las Vegas, and they have this tower, Stratus Tower, something like that, and that's
Uh-huh.
108 stories. I jumped out of that, and
Wow.
that takes 17 seconds to get to the ground.
And what does Carolyn say about all this?
She prays for me. And on that one in Las Vegas, there was two other blind people. Was Eileen Jasper and Manus Peckius, who are both a part of our center. Manus is our bookkeeper, and Eileen is one of our volunteers. But now, and they all jump. So it's something that a lot of blind people are doing things like, that they're not them people standing around waiting for a handout. They want to give you a handout.
Well, that's why I have this podcast and our TV show. We're changing the way we see blindness. We don't want people to think you're just sitting there in the dark twiddling your thumbs. It's not like that anymore.
No, it is not. There's nothing that blind people can't do. Nothing. I don't care what it is. Now they're getting even cars that we can drive pretty soon.
Exactly. And you know what? When we were about 10 years ago or so, they actually contacted us and we had blind people test the car. test
Yeah.
the car, the self-driving car. So, you know, that's cool. There was one thing that was always really funny. I think you and Carolyn make such a fantastic team. And there was one thing that I thought was funny, and I think it was something like, I'll paraphrase it. You guys said that you can't get mad at each other or leave each other because you call the same paratransit.
Yep. And also, she always tells me if I leave, it don't matter. She's going to go with me. So what the hell's the sense of leaving? You know. But
That's
it
a
isn't
good
that way.
point.
I mean, we're not leaving each other. It never will happen. You know.
No, I know. You guys are like the best pair of life. I love you guys.
We
And
love you too. And what you do is great. You know. We all have
oh,
our
thank
things,
you.
and it all makes a big difference in life.
That's right. We all do what we can and to make changes, you know, in the way people think. That's what we have to do. We just like, you know, one thing at a time. And when you change people's minds, you change the world.
Oh yeah, and we do it every day. Every
Exactly.
day
And
you
that's
change somebody.
what I love about your center is it doesn't feel regimented when you walk in. I mean, it doesn't feel like chaos either, but it feels relaxed and welcoming.
Yeah, it makes people feel like they're at home. You know,
Right.
so it's a good thing. You know, whenever you go anywhere, you want to feel welcomed. I don't care where you go or what. If you don't feel, even if you go to church and you go in there and you don't feel welcome, you don't go back to that church. You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
you want to feel welcome no matter where you go. If you come to my house and I don't make you feel welcome, well, you're not going to come back to my house.
That's right. And maybe in some cases you might be happy about that, right, Bill?
Yeah, but I don't want to make. I may make you too happy, and you want to move in. You know.
You never want to leave.
But that's
Tell me
those
about
are all good things you have to do in life, and if you can help other people in the process, then that's another feather. You
That's
know.
right. The two things, have fun and help people. Those are the two biggest things in life.
Oh yeah, and if and you just got to survive. That's the whole thing. And we're all survivors.
Surviving your life. Yep. Yep. Well, tell me something. Tell me about your cooking prowess. Tell me something that you love to cook.
Well, I cook spaghetti a lot. If we have a big dinner to cook out, I cook spaghetti sometimes for 60, 70 people. So,
Wow.
so I can cook I do it for at church and different things like that. You know, if we have something going on at the center, I'll cook for as many people as I need to. It doesn't matter whether it's 8 or 70.
And might I say, I've actually tried it because you had a fundraiser one time where you had the cookie, the spaghetti fundraiser, and it was delicious.
Well, thank you. But yeah, actually, that was the first years ago. We went to the rehab for the veterans at the hospital.
Right, in Palm Beach.
Yeah, well, it's in West Palm. It's up like Riviera Beach off of 45th Street. Is
Yeah,
where the
yeah,
hospital is.
sure.
And they let us do that was the first spaghetti dinner I did was there for people. But ever since then, we've been doing them, and we started them just to make a fundraiser, because at first when we started our center, we had no money. We were living
Right,
on borrowed time, you know, but it's
sure.
all come together, because actually doing a fundraiser like that, well, it might have paid the electric bill, might have paid the phone bill, anything. But
Sure.
that's what you got to
Yep, I
do,
hear you.
no matter what. And that's how we started, raising money. Just that's how I started cooking out for a bunch of people and that. Like I make buffalo wings, and I took a couple of weeks ago I took like 96 of them or so buffalo wings to a church dinner, and people are like, "Wow, these are the best
Oh,
wings I ever had." It's like I've been doing this for 40 years cooking these wings, you know.
Exactly. Hey, you know, the other thing I want to touch on is you guys have it was the first lights, I forget what do you call it now, but it's lights out, where
dining
in the dark.
Yeah, we do that
Yep,
every
and
year.
I've been to
We do it usually around November sometime every year. It's a great event. It's like our only fundraiser really that we do anymore. And we end up with about 200 people or so, and you eat a full course meal in pitch darkness. You cannot see your hand in front of your face. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's SWAT team are our wait staff. They come in with their night vision goggles, lead everybody into a blackened ballroom, and you get seated, and then they serve all the food to everybody. But it is a great event. Everybody has a great time. We have live entertainment by Jason Calamino, who is a blind person himself, and it is a wonderful night out. Everybody loves it.
Well, you know what? It's a wonderful night out, but it's a night where sighted people can learn a lot about themselves. One of the things I learned about themselves and about blindness, one of the things I learned was the first one I went to with yours was when I couldn't see at all, I actually became very, very claustrophobic, and I couldn't understand the combination of the two.
Yeah. Every year we have somebody gets to that point, and they have to be escorted out of the room. Every year there's at least one person that cannot handle it. Well, a blind person, that's too bad. He ain't got no choice whether he can handle it or not. You know,
Right.
And that's what it's about. It's an awareness event to let people understand what we doing out here and why. You know, when you go to pour your drink and you don't even know if you're hitting your glass or not, and how to cut your food. And you know, one person, they were buttering their rolls. Well, you have to do all this yourself in pitch darkness. They said they were the best rolls they ever ate. Well, they were buttering their rolls with their cheesecake.
Oh my God.
So,
oh my God.
You know, but it might be a thing that might catch on. There's some good rolls, I'll bet.
There you go. Two of your favorite things, rolls and cheesecake, and you just put the whole thing together, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, one of the things I learned also was that when you sit down to the table and you start eating, during the night, you totally forget who the people were and the order they came in. And when the lights come back on, you're like, wow, I thought you were here. I thought you were there, you know?
Yeah, you could be the front table and not even know it. You could be the back table and think you're in the front. You have not a clue. Because with the sound system and everything, you can't tell where the speakers, where your people that are talking are coming from. So it's like amazing when they turn up the lights, and they let the lights come up slow so they're not just blasting somebody.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because nobody knows where you were sitting. I mean, you get to know everybody at your table has to help each other. Did you find the butter? Did you find the salad dressing? Did you pass the rolls around? You got to work together with everybody, or you know, usually the first thing people do, they find their dessert and eat their dessert before somebody starts putting their hands in your dessert. So the dessert's gone.
That's a strategy.
Yeah. but it's a great entertaining night, you know, and people walk away, you know, and a lot of them say, you know, sighted people say, you know, that is amazing because I can walk out of there. Now I can see again. But there's people that walk out of there and they're just the same as when they walked in. They don't see any better than they did before. And it is amazing. And it basically opens people's eyes.
It really does. It really does. And you know, that's the main thing. And also you guys have great music. The gentleman that you mentioned, it was very enjoyable music. But you know what? I will tell you a secret, Bill. I've never told anyone this before. So mom's the word, right?
Okay.
When I was trying to put get my fork into my little tomato, my baby tomato, I kept missing. So then I'm like, okay, well, no one can see. Let me just grab it, right? And then I was going to put the fork into it, and I missed then too. I'm like, you know what? No one sees. I just popped it into my mouth.
And you know the funny part of that is probably 90% of the people in that room are doing the same thing.
Right. Exactly.
And you know, the funny part is the SWAT team are watching you.
I know. And they're kind of cute too.
Yeah. So everybody has a good time though.
Well, Bill, tell us how everyone can reach out to you and Carolyn at the Florida Outreach Center of the Blind.
Well, you can call us at 561-642-0005. We have a website. You can go online and get us at, FOCB@bellsouth.net.
Right.
Please contact us if you need any questions answered. If you are a student, come and join us. It's great. We will help you. This is nothing but a nice learning place.
It really is. It's very relaxed, very modern, very nice. Yeah. And again, thank you, Bill Lapp, from the Florida Outreach Center of the Blind. And this has been Renee Rentmeester, the Cooking Without Looking TV show podcast. We're changing the way we see blindness. You can look for us at www.cookingwithoutlooking.tv.wordpress.com. Bill, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Renee. God bless.
God bless you. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.